There have been times when I'm cycling and I haven't done anything wrong, and I have been yelled at by drivers and sort of cut off purposely, and I think you really feel helpless because they've got a big giant car or whatever it might be, and you're there on your bike. So as I understand it, the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors has passed a law this past week. It's now the first county-wide law in the nation to address this sort of behavior against pedestrians, cyclists, and other people that use the roads. Joining us on the line to help us better understand this law that has passed is Gary Helfrich with the Sonoma County Bicycle Coalition. I'm getting a little bit of an echo, and I'm not sure where that's coming from, so I apologize for that. But Gary, welcome to the program.
Good morning. Glad to be on.
Yes, and so, Gary, explain the law that passed, first of all, so that we can sort of start from there.
Well, yeah, a little background is that Sonoma County, as some of your listeners may not know, has the biggest rural road network in the Bay Area. 1,400 miles of road, and it would go from Santa Rosa, our county seat, to Colorado Springs, if you put it end to end.
Wow.
We have been, especially last summer, seeing a lot more incidents of very bad interactions between people driving cars and what we call vulnerable users. And vulnerable users means basically everyone who's out there without a car surrounding them, be they skateboarders, people riding bikes, pedestrians, folks in wheelchairs. That's what we call vulnerable users, and this is the Vulnerable User Protection Ordinance. And it does three things. It first defines what harassment is and what it's not. The example that you gave at the intro there it really highlights this. Being rude to somebody and expressing your First Amendment rights might be obnoxious. That's not harassment. Harassment is, but the second thing that you mentioned certainly is if you try and run somebody off the road. So it gives the court guidance. It will prevent frivolous suits from making it to court by saying, here's what it is, here's what it is not. The other thing it does is awards attorney's fees to the vulnerable user if they're successful in their suit. And that helps by providing access to justice for everyone, because a lot of times the person who's run off the road may not have the means to hire an attorney. But the third thing it does, this is the important thing, is it sends a message to the world, to everyone, that Sonoma County does not tolerate people harassing vulnerable users on our roads. And I use the word people very, very specifically here because the word driver is nowhere in our ordinance. It says a person may not, and then it lists what harassment is. So somebody on a bicycle deciding it's fun to buzz pedestrians on a multi-use path by the beach, that's harassment as well. So it's a little bit different than what people think it is, and that's one more point I want to make is we like to remind everyone in Sonoma County we're the only county in California with more registered automobiles than people. It's kind of a bad statistic, but everybody's a driver in this county, and then about a third of the people in the latest newspaper poll said that they ride bicycles, but you're not a bicyclist, you're not a motorist. That objectifies people. You're a person on a bike, you're a person driving a car, you're making choices on how to use our public roads.
I like that.
Yeah, so Gary, you're not trying to target drivers versus bicyclists, or it's just conduct for everyone, but I'm curious to know, what might have sparked this? Were there specific incidents? What kind of complaints were being made?
Well, the Sonoma County Bicycle Coalition keeps a database of reported harassment incidents. We'll take the report even if the police won't. We've been doing this since 2006, and we have 167 incidents that we've logged since then. What really sparked it was last year we had a number of fairly horrible deaths that were not the result of harassment, but the result of distracted driving, which is going to be a bigger campaign for us this year. But it seemed to bring out the worst in people, and the incidents of harassment went up, and it finally culminated with just an amazing, stupendous act of violence against another person, where somebody did not like the way someone was riding their bicycle, bumped into them. That person said, the person on the bike said, "This guy's crazy," and he just turned around and got out of there. The car turned around, chased him. The fellow on the bike jumps the curb, is next to a golf course, and goes down the little pathway for the golf carts just to get away from this guy. Next thing he knows, he hears the car bouncing over the curb, went 150 yards across the fairway and ran him down on the golf course.
Wow.
That's road rage.
That is, well, and the fellow had been convicted of road rage in the past. In fact, his license was suspended already for road rage. Now, I would like to do a shout-out to our district attorney, Jill Ravitch, who prosecuted this as it should be, which is attempted murder. I mean, he's up on charges for attempted murder.
Wow. It obviously is a serious thing, and I understand a little more what prompted you all to move in this direction. You mentioned distracted driving, and I think that is also another concern. And if I remember right, there's a statewide campaign that's about to be launched targeting distracted drivers. People, not only using your cell phone, but that's probably the main distraction.
Yeah, well, that is the main distraction. We're doing a local education and outreach campaign in Sonoma County that's kind of an enhancement on top of what the state's doing. You'll notice billboard. Well, I wish there were no billboards in Sonoma County, but at least if they've got anti-distracted driving messages, that's great. St. Joseph Health has been working with us to get these billboards up as you enter Sonoma County.
Gary, we have to let you go here because we're out of time, but people can get more information on your website, which is Sonoma County Bicycle Coalition.org.
That's true.
Fantastic. Gary Helfrich, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, stick around, everyone, because just after the break, we have a whole other hour full of fantastic guests. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network on this Sunday morning. Make it a great day, everyone. We are back in a moment.